Hi guys, welcome back to Junrys Vlog Reaction. For today's video reaction, let's go to one of our favorite country, which is Russia. Привет and spasibo to our Russian friends. How are you all guys? If you're doing well and fantastic. And the title of this video, and this is a video request reaction to Anna Lebedeva and also to our Russian supporters who went in our channel and asked me to do some reaction with this video that I'm so excited to learn more about the history of this war. And this is a docu-series, which is the American who just narrated with this one and make this amazing and beautiful video also, The Unknown War. And I really want to know more of history because that's why I'm making my video reaction more on Russian, because I really want to know the culture, the history and heritage of how Russia is, and this is one of those things that I really want to know. And thank you so much to all our Russian friends who suggested with this one, especially to Anna Lebedeva. Currently, she just suggested with this one. So this is 20 series. So this is a part 1. I hope guys you will be having fun and enjoy with this amazing and incredible history of Russia, The Unknown War, episode 1. It was on June 22, 1941, and credit to the owner also with the video to Great World War. I'll put in the description box below so that you can connect also with the owner of the video. And if you're new to my channel, just click on subscribe button, click on notification bell so that you'll be updated on our future uploads. And if you have some comments and suggestions related to this video or any Russian videos or artists that you can suggest, drop it in the comment section. I'd love to read and respond to you all and make your video request. So let's get to know first, since this is our episode 1, let's get to know a little more about the information of this video that we really have to start with. And I'll listen with you at the comment section. What are your thoughts with regards to this unknown war? Also, if you can add some additional information. And I want you to turn on the CC down there for your Russian and English or whatever language that you want to choose. So the greatest battle of the World War II, the most colossal encounter of military force, the most devastating human losses which the modern world has ever seen, occurred in Russia. So during 1941, between 1941 and 1945, on a battlefield that unknown to most Americans. The conflict between Hitler's Germany and Stalin's Russia claimed more than 30 million lives. Oh my goodness. On the early morning of June 22, 1941, the Nazi Wehrmacht had amassed 4.2 million crack troops along a front that stretched for 1,800 miles, and Operations Barbarossa, the invasion of Soviet Union began. The Nazi. Oh my God, I'm so excited with this one. And in Wikipedia, guys, the Unknown War, and this is like the Great Patriotic War or the Unknown War, that's in Russian, is an American documentary television series that composed of 20-part document of the World War II conflict between the Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. The show was produced and syndicated and international distribution by Airtime International, and the executive producers was Fred Weiner. Each episode, so I'll put all the details in my description box, guys, so that you will know more about this unknown war. Let's get to it. Enjoy, guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Wow, thank you so much for this one. Thank you so much, Anna Lebedeva. Being recorded. St. Petersburg or Moscow. course, the place was very beautiful.
Hello, I'm Burt Lancaster. I'm standing in Red Square, the heart of Russia, the center of Moscow, the capital of the Soviet Union. Here is St. Basil's Cathedral, the Spassky Bell Tower, the Kremlin Wall, and here behind me, where you see those lines of people, the tomb of Lenin, founder of the Soviet Communist Party and of the Soviet state, which in 1977 celebrated its 60th anniversary.
Wow.
On a pleasant summer morning in 1941, nothing seemed more peaceful than Red Square and Moscow itself. It was June 22nd, a Sunday. People were strolling along the broad streets, shopping in the big department stores, going to the country for the day. They did not know that Hitler's legions, 5 million strong, had crashed over a frontier 1,800 miles long at 4 a.m. that very morning. Nor did they know, not yet, not until a government broadcast at noon, that the Soviet Union was at war. The unknown war. A war that broke Hitler's back and ended his dream of the new order. A war of Stalingrad, of the Battle of Moscow, the siege of Leningrad, the fall of Berlin. A war of the largest land battles ever fought, of the world's greatest tank battle. A war of heroism and sacrifice.
Wow.
Such as the world has never seen. It was a war that cost Russia 20 million lives, possibly more. To us in the West, even today, this conflict of the Eastern Front remains the unknown war. Our series begins with the first day of that war, June 22nd, 1941.
Wow, it was well narrated. I love the way how it is narrated. Salute and honor to these people who made this amazing documentary series.
Sunday, June 22nd, 1941, the longest day of the year. The last moments of peace. Sprawling from Europe into farthest Asia, Russia was a giant asleep. As Winston Churchill put it, to the rest of the world, she was a riddle wrapped in a mystery.
Wow.
Like the United States, she was at peace. Through the mist before the dawn, the German army moved into assault positions. Each hour was 4 a.m. The front was 1,800 miles long. The German planning had been meticulous. Nearly 5,000 planes, 6,000 guns, the greatest mass of artillery the world had ever seen.
Those tanks, they really have those artilleries.
Russian airfields, railroad crossings, road junctions, and everything that moved on them was hit hard. The Soviet forces were stunned. Hitler had said to his generals, "You have only to kick in the door and the whole rotten structure will come crashing down." Hitler had not thought it necessary to declare war on the Soviet Union until after the attack had begun. It was to be a familiar pattern, the Blitzkrieg, and its ferocity was appalling. At the end of the first day, many Soviet border troops had been decimated, and 1,200 planes had been destroyed. The border garrisons bore the brunt. In the first minutes of the Nazi attack, the fortress of Brest on the border was enveloped. The Germans had brought up siege guns to reduce it. The fortress sent out a message. "This is Fortress Brest. We are fighting." Civilians sought what safety they could. From Moscow, the message came that the Russian people had been invaded by Germany. "Our cause is just," it said. "Victory will be ours." That night, Winston Churchill announced that Britain would come to the aid of the Soviet Union. "Russian danger is our danger," he said, "and the danger of the United States." America was still neutral, but partisan, and President Roosevelt promised aid to the Soviets. Russia had not faced such a mortal threat since the time of Napoleon, or since the Mongol hordes of Genghis Khan poured in 500 years before. Under the assault, many wondered how it all happened. The Soviet intelligence system had revealed exactly what the Germans would do, and American and British intelligence had confirmed it. But Stalin, convinced that the West wanted to push Germany into war with the Soviet Union, remained silent. He avoided anything that might be seized on as a provocation. It was a very complex question for everybody. Against all the evidence, the Soviets had hoped for just one more year of peace.
The unknown war will continue in a moment. To June 22nd, 1941.
So this is the second day.
In the years before the war, in less than a generation, Russia had created an independent economy. The Soviets had collectivized their agriculture and then initiated a crash program of industrialization.
Right. This is very interesting to know these things. What really happened in those times.
as they labored, hungry for new skills or mastery of technology. Factories had to have priority over creature comforts. Hydroelectric power. Energy for new plants for cars. Trucks.
Were very developed in those times.
Tractors. Through the 1930s, the quality of life in the Soviet Union was improving.
Bravo.
There were more goods in the stores.
It's very interesting. They really
There was no luxury, but the people were well clothed. They seemed content. In Spain, the Civil War broke out. The first fight against fascism. Hitler and Mussolini backed Franco. The Soviet Union supported the Republicans, and many Soviet citizens volunteered to go. Also on the Republican side were American volunteers of the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. Ernest Hemingway was there. So was Paul Robeson. Soviet pilots fought Hitler's aces in the air over Madrid. The Germans of the Condor Legion had already brought modern warfare to the civilians of Barcelona and Madrid. Their bombs had obliterated the town of Guernica, creating a symbol of the horror of war. Picasso memorialized it with a masterpiece. Hitler proclaimed that his Third Reich would last for 1,000 years. In Nuremberg, Munich, Berlin, he declared Germany's right to Lebensraum. And the living space he lusted after lay to the east. Ideas that counted his own, Hitler set out to obliterate. The works of Tolstoy and Whitman, of Hemingway and Darwin, of Voltaire and Heine fed the bonfires. All culture but Hitler's was to be expunged. Today we own Germany, tomorrow the world.
In uns selbst allein liegt die Zukunft des deutschen Volkes.
In 1933, the United States and the Soviet Union signed a treaty establishing diplomatic relations. They hoped for peace. Hitler was on a course towards war. Speaking today of our lands and territories in Europe, he said, we look first and foremost towards Russia. Hitler had the full backing of Germany's military-industrial complex. What was good for Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party was good for Alfred Krupp, the armaments tycoon. Confidently, Hitler reoccupied the Rhineland, took back the Saar Basin, and absorbed Austria. He seemed unstoppable.
It's so powerful this time, this period. Hitler was like the Nazi soldiers followed him.
Then, at Munich, bowing to Hitler's promise of peace, Chamberlain and Daladier, the premiers of England and France, forced Czechoslovakia to relinquish the Sudetenland. Chamberlain said, "In spite of the harshness and restlessness I thought I saw in Hitler's face, I got the impression that he was a man who could be relied upon when he gave his word." For Hitler, Munich was another victory. Others called it appeasement. In London, Chamberlain said it meant peace in our time. When the Nazis entered Czechoslovakia, Poland became the last country separating Nazi troops from the Soviet border. England had already signed a pact with Poland, and France was interested in one. On August 12, 1939, the Soviets proposed a defensive pact with Britain, France, Poland, and other Eastern European states. As part of it, Russia sought permission to move troops through Poland if necessary. By August 15th, the Nazis seemed set to attack Poland. The British and French had sent junior officials to Moscow. They requested a postponement of talks until August 21st. Poland steadfastly refused to allow Soviet troops to pass through. Stalin became convinced that the Western powers hoped to turn the Nazis to the east. On August 21st, Minister of Defense Voroshilov asked Britain and France their intentions about a mutual alliance in view of Poland's attitude. There was no reply. The Soviets believed they had no choices left. 2 days later, Hitler's foreign minister, Joachim von Ribbentrop, arrived in Moscow. On August 23, 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Non-Aggression Pact was signed. It was an event that stunned the world. For the Russians, it was a way to buy time.
The unknown war will continue in a moment. To June 22nd, 1941.
On September 1st, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. On September 17th, the Red Army crossed the Polish border, reclaiming territories seized by Poland 18 years before. The pact had only delayed the inevitable. For Hitler and his henchmen, the inevitable was only a matter of planning. The Soviet Union was to be invaded.
So bad with this time.
They called it Barbarossa, after a German emperor of unusual ferocity.
What really like the Nazi or Hitler is thinking.
There would be a three-pronged drive into the heart of the Soviet Union. The target to the north was Leningrad. In the center, it was Moscow. And in the south, Kiev and the whole of the Ukraine. The Soviet Union was to be totally destroyed and the land occupied up to a line drawn from Archangel to Astrakhan. May 1st, 1941, traditional Soviet holiday, the day of the big parade, the show of strength and solidarity. But this year, there was also some concern, some uneasiness. Atop Lenin's tomb in Red Square, Marshal Timoshenko warned the people of an extremely complicated international situation.
Wow, he won already. Because they know that there's something happening. You know already that there is something.
Tremendous efforts were being made to rearm the Red Army with modern weapons, including new tanks. But these efforts had just begun, and the capabilities of their armaments remained in doubt. In 1940, the Soviet Union and Finland came into military conflict over border disputes. The Germans watched the difficulties the Soviet army experienced with great interest. Was it a reliable indicator of Soviet strength? Could the Soviet army withstand a Nazi blitzkrieg? The foreign observers at the May Day parades saw the latest Soviet weapons and pondered the Russians' chances. Stalin watched and continued to hope for at least one more year of preparation. On June 21st, 1941, Molotov asked the German ambassador in Moscow to explain the rumors of war. Unaware of Hitler's plans, the ambassador reassured Molotov that the German intention was peace. June 22nd, 1941. One day later. The attack had begun at 4 a.m. On a front stretching from the Arctic Circle to the Black Sea, over 1,800 miles, Hitler loosed his legions. At dawn in the Kremlin, the German ambassador Schulenburg read to Molotov Hitler's declaration of war. Molotov was stunned. The strike had the weight of 190 divisions, 5 million men, 47,000 guns and mortars, 4,300 tanks, almost 5,000 warplanes. The full murderous might of a highly advanced industrial nation, the blitzkrieg, the lightning strike. Hitler's principal ideologist, Alfred Rosenberg, had already worked out his plan for the East. After the victory, all of European Russia would be settled by Germans and become part of the Third Reich. The people already there, the Russians, millions of them, would be killed or removed. And the first to be killed would be the Communist Party members. German High Command ordered its advancing troops to punish opposition by executing 50 to 100 Russians for every German killed by a partisan. Hitler often watched the latest newsreels from the front. They delighted him. His surprise attack had worked beyond all expectation. The Soviet cities fell. Grodno, Minsk, Bobrisky, Gomel, Mogilev, Kaunas, Vilnius, Ostrov, Pskov. The annihilation in Poland, Belgium, Holland, and France was being repeated, only on a grander scale. Churchill had said that Hitler's plan was undoubtedly Poland in 39, France in 40, Russia in 41, England in 42, and maybe America in 1943.
See how Hitler's plan is. You really want to conquer the world, be the most powerful.
The The Unknown War will be back after this. It's to June 22nd, 1941.
In the opening phases of Operation Barbarossa, tens of thousands of Soviet troops died or were made prisoner. George Marshall told President Roosevelt that Russia would fall in less than 3 months. British Field Marshal Wavell said only 6 weeks. Hitler declared that the Soviet Union was already crushed. Hitler's boast was premature. Gradually, the terrible toll of Soviet troops and materiel slackened. German commanders became impressed by Soviet resistance. General Gunther Blumentritt said, "Even when encircled, the Russians stand their ground and fight." The small garrison of the Brest fortress was still holding out after a month of siege. "This is the fortress," the message came, "and we are still fighting." I'm standing at the battle-scarred walls of the fortress of Brest, on the western border of the USSR. At dawn on June 22nd, 1941, the Nazis began their savage drive eastward across the Russian frontier. Brest was the first target to be hit. It was a surprise attack, not unlike the one launched by the Japanese on Pearl Harbor. The Germans attacked the fortress with bombs and artillery. They blasted it with flamethrowers. The assaults were unrelenting, but the garrison would not surrender. For more than 4 weeks, 4,000 Russian soldiers defended the fortress against 17,500 Nazi troops. As the bulk of the German forces continued their push eastward, the fortress was now an island, surrounded by a sea of Germans. Most of the Brest garrison perished in this uneven battle. Only a handful managed to fight their way through more than 400 miles of Nazi-occupied territory to rejoin managed to fight their way through more than 400 miles of Nazi-occupied territory to rejoin the Red Army troops at the front lines. The Russian people call the heroes of Brest the immortal garrison. Hitler himself announced the fall of the citadel. He took his ally Mussolini on a sightseeing tour of the German army's achievements on the Eastern Front. The highlight was Brest. There was defiance still on its walls, incised with bayonets. I am dying, but I will not surrender. Farewell, my country.
Allow me to cut in here, guys. I will make a part 2 on this amazing part 1 of the Unknown War. Goodness gracious. I will not surrender. I'm dying. I will not surrender. And farewell to my motherland. This is like always been the line. That's so amazing how the Russian fought for the war. And this is an incredible video that they really stand on their ground no matter what will happen. Even the Nazi, the German have a lot of like their weaponry, their artillery, but these Russian people are very strong and they really want to protect in their country. And this is so interesting. Episode 1. Sorry about it, guys, that I need to cut and make an part 2 of this episode 1 because my battery almost died. So this is truly interesting, and I really want to hear also with you what are your thoughts. If you have some additional information with regards to this Unknown War episode 1, part 1 of this video. Goodness gracious, I enjoyed watching this, hearing those, like I'm sad deep in my side because imagine of those children, the old people, the women. My God, they are the person who cannot fight against because you don't know where to hide because of the like the bomb, the bullets. The bullets will not say, "Excuse me, hi." Goodness gracious, I'm really feel bad. Then I don't know what's the thinking of Hitler on those time that I think he just really want to conquer the world and being one of the most powerful like leader in the world, and that's not what it should be thinking. But those are the times, and now we should be facing that we have to give love and respect, and that's a history of the making that we will not forget of these things. So intrigued I really want to make more and continue of making this episode of this The Unknown War because it's so interesting to learn the history and war on those times. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Anna Levedeva, for suggesting with this one, and I hope guys you enjoyed watching with this, and I want to hear also with you on additional information with regards to this video at the comment section. If you like this video, guys, same as I did, and if you really want to see the full video and connect with the owner of the video, I'll put in the description box below. If you like this video, just give a massive thumbs up, like and share, subscribe also with my channel. This is Junrys Vlog at the React saying stay humble, stay positive, guys. If you want to connect my social media account is in here. If you want to connect my second channel, it's in the description box below. Thank you so much, Privyet, and SPASIBO to our Russian friends. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. God bless po, and see you in my next video reaction.